That sound was charge number 141, the explosives found inside the shooter's apartment. That is why there were 165 charges, not an even number as you might think there would be, since there were 2 charges for each victim. For all of the other 164 charges, the shooter now faces the death penalty, and that is sure to take a toll on the jurors. Many of them crying today, but their job is not done. The sentencing phase is just about to begin. 7 News reporter Marshall Zellinger was in the courtroom today, and Marshall, the jurors weren't the only ones showing emotions today.
Yeah, I was watching the shooter's parents when that first guilty verdict was read. When I walked in, the shooter's dad had a box of Kleenex in his lap, and when that first guilty verdict was read, no reaction by either of them. But by count 118, I started to see Mom hold back some tears. It's likely they've accepted that this was likely the case because they had offered a plea of life in prison years ago. So now the real fight begins next week for his life.
We, the jury, find the defendant, James Egan Holmes, guilty.
Even though there were 165 total guilty verdicts, it only took that first one for the theater shooting case to be assured a penalty phase.
You'll be asked to determine what punishment to impose, and you'll have 2 options: life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, or a death sentence.
There are 3 phases to this next section. The first, the jury has to be convinced of specific aggravating factors,
such as there was a child killed or the number of victims.
Would the defendant please stand for the reading of the verdicts?
Based on the guilty verdicts today, it's likely we'll quickly move to phase 2, the mitigating phase, where we'll hear from witnesses again. This time, we'll likely hear from the shooter's friends and family.
An individual who's able to testify regarding either his good character, his history, his mental health history, anything that would potentially help him in this phase.
And the third phase will be the jury deciding life or death.
If you have 11 of the jurors that vote for death, but only 1 votes for life, that means a life sentence for the defendant.
The jurors do get some time off. Court will be in session Monday, July 20th, not with the jurors, however. It will be some instructional dealings between the attorneys trying to firm up some language that the jurors will hear when they begin phase 1 of this 3-phase process Wednesday morning. And you can watch it all, even Monday, on the 7 News app and thedenverchannel.com. And